Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Manojavam Marutatulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutamukhyam Shri Ramadutam Sirasa Namami. Santoshini Jaganmata Mama Saubhagyavriddhaye Namaskaromi Bhaktya Tvam Prasanna Varada Bhava. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Hridau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamuktaye Namaha. Satchitananda Vishwotpathyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numa. Nilambujasyamalakomalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Padau Mahasayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvamsanatham. Janmatyasya yatornoyaditaratachateshva vidnyaswarat Tene Brahmahridaya Adigavaye Muhyanti Yatsuraya Tejo Varimృతాం Yatha Vinivayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Damna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Last class we saw briefly Sukavarshi said about the Sukara Avatara, the boar Avatara, very briefly, that he appeared from the nose of Brahmaji and increased its size, plunged into the Pralaya Jala and lifted the earth. While placing the earth in its own place, a Rakshasa attacked him, Hiranyaksha. So Bhagavan killed him. That is what briefly said. Now, Vidurji was not happy about it. That is from the chapter 14, Skanda 3rd. Viduruvacha teneva munishreshta harina yajnamurtina adidaityo hiranyaksho adayityana shushruma tasya chodhara dakshonim samskragrena nililaya teterajasya ja brahman kasmat detora bhun mrudha. So Viduraji asked, we have understood from your account that Hiranyaksha, the first of all Daityas, was destroyed by Sri Hari, the embodiment of Yajna. What was the reason for such a conflict between that Asura and Sri Hari, who lifted the earth with his tusk as if in sport? Maitrarishi sadhuvir tvaya prishtam avatara katham harehe yastam prichasi martyanam mrityupasha vishatanim. Maitrarishi congratulate Vidurji asking that question. By hearing such account, why? Because by hearing such account of Hari's incarnation, man is enabled to overcome the bondage of death, inflicting samsara. Now, instead of describing the battle between Hiranyaksha and Varaha, the Sugamarshi, Maitrarishi is going into, actually Maitrarishi is telling here, Maitrarishi is narrating the story to Vidurji. Maitrarishi goes into the origin of this Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Athatrapidihasoyam suto me varnidapura brahmana devadevena devenam anuprichatam. It says about that question, there is a tradition which I heard from Brahmaji as narrated to the Devatas. Dididakshayani chatta marijam kashyapam patim apatyagama chakame sandhyayam hrichayardita. It seems, O Vidura, we say Diti. Diti was the second wife of Kashyapa Prajapati. Kashyapa Prajapati is the mind-formed child of Brahmaji. Kashyapa Prajapati had two wives, Aditi and Diti. So, Aditi children were Adityas, means Devatas. Diti's children were Asuras. So what happened was, it seemed Diti, the daughter of Daksha Prajapati, desirous of progeny and gripped with passion, once approached her husband Kashyapa at Sandhya time, evening time. Ishtugni payasa purusham yadusham padim nimlochattarka asinam magnagare samahitam. At that time, Kashyapa was seated in the hall for Agnihotra with the mind withdrawn and concentrated. Mind is withdrawn from the world and concentrated. After pouring the libation of milk to Sri Hari in the sacred fire, at that time, Eshamam tutkrite vidvan kama attasharasanaha dunodi dinam vikramya Rambhavimadangajaha. O learned one, I am under the powerful attack of Kamadev, with his bow in hand, driving me to the fulfillment of my passion for you. I am helpless in his hands, like a plantain tree in the trunk of an elephant. So, 14th one, he says, Athame kuru kalyana kamam kancha virochana artopasarpanam bhuman amogham himakiyasi. Therefore, O handsome one, fulfill my desire. The prayers of people in distress addressed to men of your greatness never go in vain. Now, ititam veeramarichaha kripanam bhagavashinim pratyahanunayan vacha pravrithan angakashmalam. Consoling her who was so pitiable and so vulnerable under the stress of this powerful passion, Kashyapa said to her, Eshateham vidhasyami priyam bhiru yadichasi tasya kamam na kuryat siddhistrair vargiki yataha. I am certainly going to fulfill your desire. Who is the virtuous man that will not fulfill the desire of a wife who enables him to attain the three ends of life? Sarvashramanubadaya swashramena kalatravan vyasanarnavamatyeti janayarnairyatharnavam. A householder's ashrama is like a ship crossing the ocean. One in that state caters the need of all the other ashramas. Householder is the one taking care of all three other ashramas. And such service become the means for him to cross the ocean of samsara. They're all very beautiful teaching. Yamahuratmano hyartham Shreyaskamasya manini yasyam suduramadhyasya puvancharati jitvijjaraha. O good lady, she who is designated as half of the body of a good householder, better half, she on whom he places the yoke of his household affair, and then rest in peace. She with whose aid a householder easily conquers his enemies. The senses, just as the commander of a fort does his enemies. Then 21st verse is Athapi kamamedam te prajate karavanyam yatha mam nati vochanti muhurtam pratipalaya. I am certainly going to fulfill your desire for progeny, but I would request you to wait for a while till this sandhya is over. Esha ghoratama vela ghoranam ghoradarsana charanti yasyam bhodani bhuteshanucharaniha. Besides, this sandhya is an extremely awe-inspiring time. It is the time of people of a terrible disposition, the bhutas who are the emissaries of Rudra, roam about at this time. Etasyam satvi sandhyayam Bhagavan bhuta bhavana parito bhuta parshatbhir vishedadadi bhutarad. Rudra too riding on the bull and surrounded by his Bhutaganas is moving about at the time of Sandhya. Smanacha chakradila dhuli dhumra vikirna vidyoda jatakalapa Bhasmavagunda malarukma deho devastribhi pashyati devaraste. None can escape the notice of Rudra. Your brother-in-law, who has the sun, the moon, and the fire for his eyes, whose hair tawny with the ashes of the cremation ground is blown about by the winds, and whose silvery body is smeared all over with sacred ashes. For him, there is no distinction between people as friends and strangers. He looks upon none as more acceptable and none is despicable. We all pray for the blessing of his power of Maya, like prosperity, enjoyment, which are only what he has kicked away with his feet. Maitreya says, even after telling that, Saivam samvitide bhartra manmadhonmadhitendriya jagrahavaso brahmarshe vrishaliva gatatraya. All this wise counsel of her husband was lost on her. Moved by that burning passion, she lost all self-control and like a loose and shameless woman pulled away the cloth of that Brahmarshi. Savidhitvadhaparyayastam nirbandham vikarmani nattvadhishtaya rahasi tayathopa. Finding his wife persistent in a prohibited act, he made salutation to the Lord and entered with her into privacy. Atopasprisya salilam prananayamya vagyataha dhyayancha japa virajam brahmachodi sanatanam. Afterwards, he purified himself with water, performed pranayama, withdrew his senses, meditated on the Immaculate Spirit, and made repetition of Gayatri Mantra. Didistu vridita tena karma badhyena bharata upasangyam viprashe atho mukhyam babhashada. And Didi, now feeling ashamed of her reprehensible contact, stood before Rishi Kashyapa, hanging her head in shame and said, Mame karpamimam brahman bhutanam rishabho vadhid rudra padirhi bhutanam yasya karavamhasam karamamhasam. Yeah. O Great One, let not Rudra, the Lord of demigods, destroy the fetus within me. I have done him a wrong. Namo Rudraya Mahade Devayo Graya Mirushe Shivaya Nyasta Dandaya Tata Dandaya Pranyave Sana Prasidadam Bhamo Bhagavan Urvanugraha Vyagasyapyanugamyanam Strinam Deva Sati Pati. Salutation to Sri Rudra. Terrible towards erring ones. Gracious to those who pray to him for favors, and granter of bliss to those who serve him without any desires. He is my brother-in-law, being the husband of my sister Sati. He is also very gracious in blessing devotees. Would he not be gracious and forgiving to us women, to whom even wild hunters show some consideration? Kashyapa said, Aprayatyad atmanaste doshan mahurtigaduga mannide sadicharena devanam chadihelanad. Prajapati, having finished his Kashyapa said, perverse and intemperate woman, due to the impurity of your mind, due to the impropriety of the time, due to the disobedient obedience of my words, and due to the offense done to Rudra and his emissaries, you will have two sons of a perverse nature. They will be the terror of three worlds. Praninam hanyamananam deenanam akritagasam strinam digrihyamananam kopiteshu mahatmasu tada vishveshwara kruddho bhagavan lokabhavanaha anishyatavadiryaso yadhandri shataparvadhrika. During their domination, weak and innocent people will be killed. Women's modesty will be outraged, and holy men will be harassed. Then the Lord, the Master of the whole universe, will be roused to anger, and incarnating himself, he will destroy them as Indra shattered the mountains. Diti said, Vadham Bhagavata Sakshan Sunabhodara Bahuna Ashase Ashase Putrayor Mahyam Ma Kruddhat Brahmanat Vibho Na Brahma Danda Dagdasya Na Bhuta Vayadasya Ja Naragascha Anugrnanti Yam Yam Yonimaso Gataha. She says, Didi said, I welcome death for my children at the hands of Lord Mahavishnu, whose arms hold the formidable discus Sudarshana, but let them not meet with their end by the curse of any angry Brahmana. For those who have been destroyed by a Brahmana's curse, or who are noted for their cruelty and tyranny towards all beings, will not get sympathy or help from anyone in the succeeding birth, or even from the occupants of Naraka if he happens to be with them. So Brahmana Shaba is considered the worst. The soul will never get Gati. Then Kashyapa said, Katashokanutapena Satya Pratyavamarshanaat Bhagavat Yurugam Uruganascha Bhave Payyapichadarad. There are certain circumstances about your contact. You have soon begun to repent, Immediately after your offense, you have begun to discriminate about it, about its propriety and impropriety. You have evinced your devotion to the Lord. You have expressed your regard and respect for Rudra and for me. For these reasons, one of your grandsons will become a noted devotee who will command the respect of all the gods, all the good and pious people, and whose fame will be sung along with the Lord's glory itself in devotional circles. So, the very thought of Diti that if Bhagwan kills my children, I am very happy. Because she knows that if anybody die in the hands of Bhagwan, they will get higher gati. So that's why she said, so because you said that, Kashyapa said, you will have a grandson who will be devoted to Bhagwan Hari, and whose name will be taken first. That's why, in our tradition, if you remember the Bhagavatas, Prahlada's name comes first. Prahlada Narada Parashara Pundarika Vashav Pundarika Vyasambarisha Shugav Shaukanaga Vishmarati Punyanimam Parama Bhagavatam Smarami. So therefore, you will have a grandchild who will be the pride of the grandparents. Now, 45th. Yogerhemeva durvarnam bhavayishyanti sadhava nirverathibhiratmanam etchilamanuvartitam. Just as impure gold is purified by melting it in fire, so too men will, following his example, purify their minds and hearts by abandoning enmity and other passions. Bhagavan will be immensely pleased with him. Yat prasadadidam visham prasidati yadatmakam sa sadrak bhagavan yasya toshyate ananyaya drisha. Seeing his ananya bhakti, Bhagavan will be mightily pleased. And 47. Savai Mahabhagavato Mahatma Mahanubhavo Mahadam Mahishta Pravritta Bhaktya Hyanvavidasye Ashaye Niveshya Vaikundamimam Vihasyasi. Great in his love of God, high soul, large-hearted, greater than all great men, he will establish the divine in his heart, purified by the practice of a wholehearted and one-pointed devotion. He will be above body consciousness. And also, Alambadaha, Sheeladharaha, Gunakaraha, Krishtaha, Paratyaha, Vyatito, Tukkideshu, Abodashatru Jagataha, Sogaharta, Naidadikam, Tapa, Vipodu Rajaha. These are the great qualities of Prahlada. The 7th canto, we will see the qualities of Prahlada in detail. 7th canto. We are only in 3rd canto, okay? So Kashyapa, opposite is called Pashyaka. Pashyaka means seer. Drashta. Drashta means consciousness. Paramatma. Two wives, Diti. Diti means dividing factor. Atiti, joining. Our thoughts are also Sankalpa Vikalpa. Noble qualities and ignoble qualities, all of them are you. Atma illumine both the thoughts of when there is a paschatapa, the noble thought come from you, and both are you. So that is what is indicated by Kashyapa Prajapati. Prediction, and afterwards Diti's regrets, expressing her, that's paschatapa. As you are regret, you repent for your mistake, not justify, then that will remove your papa. That is the idea here. Now Diti was very happy to hear this, that her grandson will be the great devotee of Bhagavan. And being a high-minded lady, she took comfort in the knowledge that her two sons would meet their death at the hands of the Lord Himself. Now, continuing next chapter, Maitreya says, Prajapatyam dutattejaha paratejohanam titihi dharavarsani shatam Shankhamana Surardhanat Loke Tena Hataloke Lokapala Hataujasa Nivedayan Vishwasrujed Dhyantav Vyatigaram Disham. Diti bore her children in the womb 100 years, fearing harm. They will be a harmful people for devatas. Then what happened? There are fetus of fierce potency derived from Kashyap Prajapati and possessing a power of aggressive darkness that could efface any brilliance. That power of darkness put at naught the brilliance of the sun and the moon illumining the quarters, as also of the guardian deities who complain about it to Brahmaji. Devata said, Tamayetat vibhoveta samvigna yadvayam vrisham nahyam vyaktam bhagavata kalena sprishtavatmana. They said, oh, all-pervading being, you know already of that darkness which has put us to fright. Nothing is hidden from you, whose knowledge is not limited by time. Maitrishi says, Saprahasya Mahabaho Bhagavan Shabdagocharaha Pratyachashtatma Bhur Devan Prani Pridan Ruchiraya Gira. The fetus begotten by Kashyapa and Diti is developing with the ferocity of fire and fuel, spreading the gloom of apprehension all world. And listening to this, Maitarishi says, Brahmaji says, Manasa me sudha yushman purvaja sanakadeha cherur vihayasa lokan lokeshu vigataspraha. Brahmaji said, your elder brothers, my mind-born son Sanaka and others, who had abandoned interest in worldly life from the start, could travel all over the universe through the sky. Tayekada bhagavato vaikundasya Yayur Vaikunda Nilayam Sarvaloka Namaskritam. Once they went to Vaikunta, the realm of Mahavishnu, which is an object of adoration for all. Vasanti yatra purusha sarve Vaikunda muktayaha ye nimitta nimittena dharmena rathayan harim. All the residents of that realm, resembling Mahavishnu himself in appearance, had attained to it as the result of the observance of Bhagavata Dharma without any self-centered motives. Yatra chadya pumanaste Bhagavan Saptagojaraha Sattam Vishtabhya Virijam Swanam no Bridayan Vrishaha. The Supreme Being, possessor of all powers and auspicious attributes, the embodiment of Dharma, and the subject of revelation of the Vedas, abides there in a body of pure sattva, without any touch of rajas or tamas, for the blessing of his devotees. There these Sanat Kumaras went. Now there is a beautiful description of what Vaikuntha is given here. You can read it yourself, okay? The beauty of Vaikuntha is given there. So what happened? Tat Vishwarvati Kritam Bhuvaneka Vandyam Divyam Vichitra Vibhudagra Vivana Shochi Apuparam Mudama Purvam Upetya Yoga Maya Balena Muneyastataro Vaikuntam. By their spiritual power, the Kumaras with mind filled with joy, once arrived at the Mahavishnu's realm of Vaikuntha, which being above all material spheres, outshined them all, which is filled with the mansion of numerous divine beings, and which is a unique wonder compelling the adoration of all. Then the Kumaras quickly crossed the sixth gate of Vaikuntha. When they reached the seventh, they found their two handsome divine beings of the same age and form, armed with maces and bedecked with valuable ornaments like armbands and earrings. These sages, established in the highest truth, habituated or accustomed to travel everywhere unobstructed, entered the seventh gate also without taking any permission. while the two divine person, they were looking on. They were entering into the seventh gate. These four Kumaras have no dress. Though ancient, they look like boys of 5 years. They are established in the knowledge of Brahman. Now seeing them entering the gate, the gatekeepers obstructed them and mocked at their prowess. Although these sages were persons worthy of respect, and this particular contact is contrary, totally opposite of Bhagavan's nature. Now, when the gatekeepers of the Lord thus blocked their way in front of all the devas there, these ascetics who were worthy of the highest respect felt frustrated and angry at the obstacle put in their way of seeing their dear Lord, and spoke with an agitated look. Now, Vaikuntha means that place where our mind gets blunt. It also means the very nature of Lord, where mind cannot reach, where our intellect comes to a stop. That is Bhagavan. Here, two gatekeepers, these Kumaras, seeing the beauty of Vaikuntha, reached the gate, and when they were about to go inside, these Dwarapalas stopped them. In Vaikuntha, such actions are strange. Now the sages said, Munaya Ujuhu, Ko Vamihaiteva Bhagavat Parijaryayochai Tat Dharminam Nivasadam Vishamasvabhavaha Tasmin Prashanta Purushe Gata Vigrahe Vam Ko Atmavat Kuhagayo Parishankaniya. In this place, in Vaikuntha, Kuntha means blunt, where your mind never get blunt, means sharp, sattvic. So, in this place where only person who have for long practiced the devotional discipline and serve the Lord intensely, they only can find this place. How is it that perverse one like these have come in? The Lord is embodiment of peace and devoid of all enmity and antagonism. How can you suspect that anyone with evil intention against such a one will come here at all, unless you yourself possess these qualities within you, making you feel the same with regard to others too? Oh, they say 34th verse, Tattamamushya paramasya vikunda vartra kartu prakrishtamihathi mahimandadhim vyam lokanito vrajata mantara bhava drishtya papiya sasraya ive nipavosya yatra. Therefore, we have decided to reform you, who are no doubt the servants of the Lord, but are possessed of a poor and impure intelligence. You are excommunicated from this realm, means you don't deserve this place. Because of your separated outlook, Means you consider I am different, you are different, and condemned to occupy inferior regions which are under the domination of evil passion like sexuality, anger, and greed. Now, once the curse was pronounced, they understood its seriousness. Immediately, the servants fell at the feet of the Mahatmas here. They said, 36th verse, Bhuyada Kori Bhagavat Viragari Dando Yo Nau Hatena Surahela Namapyashesham Ma Unutapakalaya Bhagavasmadigno Moho Bhavedi Hadunau Vrajatora. What you have done is only to inflict a deserving punishment on sinners. We have nothing to say against the infliction of it, as it will destroy our sin of disobeying the Lord's command. But though we are doomed to the precipitous fall from our present state, grant that we may not, by virtue of your sympathy and goodwill towards us, be deprived of our mind's capacity to remember the Lord always. At that time, when this noise was happening outside, Bhagavan appeared there with all his beauty and glory. And seeing Bhagavan, this Sanat Kumaras felt very bad. Very bad because you go to somebody's house and the servant misbehaves, you dismiss the servant without asking the master of the house. So that was what the Sanat Kumaras did. So they were feeling very bad. How did we? So they said, Kumaras, Yondarkido Hridigado Viduratmanam Tam Saudevano Nayanamula Manandaradha Erheva Karna Vivarena Guham Gadona Pitrano Varnidaraha Papabuttavena. O infinite being, thou who, though present in the hearts of all, are not experienced by evil-hearted person, have verily appeared today before our very eyes. This perhaps is not to be wondered at, since thou hast entered into our hearts much earlier through our ears, when we received the instruction from our father Brahma about the mystic glory of yours. Then they said, please forgive us and nullify the curse for this Parshadas. Now Brahma said, Iditat Krinatam Tesham Muninam Yoga Gardhavanam Pradinadyak Jagadeham Vikunda Leyo Vibhu. Pleased with the words of these great sages, the Lord who has manifested himself in Vaikuntha to bless his devotees said as follows. Bhagavan said, Etauto parshado mahyam jayo vijaye vacha kadarti hrityamam yadho bhakvakratamadikkramam. Actually, what happened was, in some other Purana also this story comes. It seems Lakshmi Devi, when she went for a shopping, when she came back to enter her own apartment in Vaikuntha, these Dwarapalas stopped her also. So she said, how dare you stop me to go to my own house? They said, Bhagavan is sleeping now, don't disturb. So she got angry, but finally she went inside and complained to Bhagavan. These Dwarapalas, they are, how dare they stop me? You have to dismiss them. Bhagavan said, wait, just because they offended you, immediately I dismiss them. People in the world think that I am a henpecked husband. So I will not do it now. When these people disrespect a Sant, Mahatma, then I can take some action. So even though Lakshmi Devi was consoled this way, but she was angry every day because she has to see these people every day. And she was also waiting for a chance. So Bhagavan said, these two attendants of mine, Jaya and Vijaya, have misbehaved towards you in disregard of my command. Bhagavan's command was, Sadhu Purushas, they are welcome anytime. So they should not be stopped. That was his command. So what you follow my ideas and intention have pronounced as punishment for insulting holy men, I accept the validity of it fully. So whatever that you have done is proper. I accept it. Then comes a very beautiful statement. Yannamani jagannadi loko pritye kritagasi so sadhuvadas tat kirtim handitvacha ivamayaha. When a servant does something wrong and the world attribute that to his master, and the disrespect that one gets that way erodes one's good name, as leprosy erodes one's skin. So, if Bhritya make mistake, the master also has to go through punishment. Say the rich, Naham tadatti ejamana havir vidane sachoda datrita pluta madan udabhung mukhena yat brahmanasya mukhatas charatodu khasam tushtasya mayyavahideir nijakarma pakaihi. The rich ghee-soaked offering of the masters of sacrifice in the sacrificial fire are not consumed by me with the same relish as the morsel of food I consume through the mouth of holy men who perform all their action in dedication to me and eat their humble fare with relish. Yesham vibharmyaha makhanda vikunda yoga maya viputira balangri rajak kiridaihi viprastu kora vishayeta yadarhanabhyas sadhya punadi saha chandra lala malokan. Oh, what a beautiful statement. The water flowing from my feet is supposed to purify the whole world, including the moon-crested deity Maheshwara. Even then, I, possessed of the unlimited powers and excellence of my Yogamaya, carry the foot dust of holy men like you on my crowned head. Who will not bear with beings of such transcending holiness? So their overbearing contact towards you, these two who are my servants and who have acted against my ideas, got a fitting punishment. Let them undergo the same immediately and come back to me afterwards. This is a favor and a blessing which you can easily grant. Now, Jaya, Vijaya means what? Gods. Means without their permission, you can't have darshan of Bhagavan. Jaya means Indriya Jaya. And Vijaya means Mano Vijaya. So, mastery of mind, without the mastery of mind, one cannot have darshan of Lord. So, you cannot disregard Jaya Vijaya. When you master your sense and mind, you become proud of your mastery over your mind. Such pride come, he will fall down. Bhagavan said, my servants have done this mistake, so I will also go through the same punishment. I will also go to Bhuloka. Like children make mistake, parents should take responsibility, right? So they are going to take 3 births. I will take 4 births. Bhagavan. What are they for? Hiranyaksha. Bhagavan took avatar of Varaha, number 1. Hiranyakashipu, Nrsimha, number 2. The Ravana Kumbhakarna, Ramachandraji, and Shishupal Dantavaktra, Lord Krishna. So these are 4 births. So this is the idea. Now, so one should not have pride of your own self-control. The moment that pride comes, Bhagavan find a way to correct you. That's the idea. 30th verse it is said. 30th verse it is said, Etat pureva nabdishtam ramaya kruddaya yada puravararita dwari vishanti mayubarate. So the punishment has been awarded to you even long back by Rama, Sridevi, as you once obstructed her from entering my abode when I was in yogic slumber. Here itself, Bhagavan says that they obstructed Lakshmi Devi also. And still, this Sanat Kumaras were feeling bad. So, Bhagavan took them one side and said, see, you don't have to feel bad. These are all my sankalpa only. I am also tired sitting here in Vaikuntha. I have to go out for exercise. So, I like it. I want to go out. These are all my Leela only, etc. Now, plus, but the Mahatma says Sanat Kumaras felt very bad. So what? Sanat Kumara, one of them out of the four, Sanat Kumara said, I will also go and remind these Rakshasas of the glory of Bhagavan. That is why Prahlada was Sanat Kumara, Vibhishana was Sanat Kumara, Shishupala, Dandavaktra, there was no need because their power was less at that time. Now, all the time, Bhagavan, though, was praising Sanat Kumara, but he was expressing his love for Jaya Vijaya. He was ready to go down to bring them back. And also see, they remained more powerful than all gods. So Bhagavan, kindness or compassion is what is shown there, that he will never leave his devotees. He will always seek them, protect them, bring them back. Bhagavan has so much love for his devotees. Then how much we should love them. So Sanat Kumara became Prahlada and Vibhishana. Third life, it was not necessary. So Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Prashyati. Even if his devotee does terrible sin, Bhagavan won't give him up. Now, after saying this, it's already 36. Now these Jaya Vijaya became Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. Then Titi gave birth to these demons. Then what happened? Hiranyakashipu means bed. Hiranya means gold. Bed stands for pleasure, means kama. Hiranyaksha means lobha. Kama and Kamanuja is called Krodha. Now Didi gave birth to these two Rakshasas. Rakshasas have got one particular fact. As soon as they are born, they become grown up. They don't have to go through the childhood and all that. So, Hiranyakashipu, the one who enjoys pleasure, Hiranyaksha means one whose eyes are on gold, greed, lobha. So they are brothers, Kama and Lobha. Anyway, we will see their story and the fight between this Bhagwan's avatara Sukara and Hiranyaksha in detail given here. We'll see that in our next class. Okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namah. Hari Om.